Welcome, good afternoon from Toronto, Canada, and my sidekick and buddy here, Nicole from, hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good. I know I hesitated for a moment, so I wasn't sure, but we're here and we're very excited, aren't we, Glenda?
Yes, today is a very special Let's Get Real. And we have a woman who has not only been our mentor and has been our teacher, our coach, and can I really say as well, and I say this with the deepest of love in my heart, actually is a friend to both of us. And that's how Nicole and I actually got together, from this wonderful human being that we totally treasure. So what a great experience for us to bring her live on here today and to voice of and listen to her of what she really is. She really is the voice of many.
She really is. And to me, it's so amazing that someone so well known, someone so talented, and someone with so many gifts is so down to earth. You
Yeah.
you really when you meet Forbes Riley, you've met the same person, whether she's on the air, whether she's speaking, whether she's exercising, or whether she's doing a class. And that was the thing that most impressed me. I mean, this lady is known as the Queen of Pitch, and I have seen her just off the cuff look around her desk like this, pick something up, and just talk. It's the most amazing thing. And one of the things she says that always sticks in my mind, and this was during one of her classes, and she says, she says, I always had a fear that when I died, no one would remember me. She says, I've always wanted to make an impact. And I can honestly say today, and I think you feel this way, Glenda, too, is when she dies, no one's going to forget her. I am so excited to have her on. She is amazing. She's probably one of the nicest people you will ever meet. And I'm so happy to welcome her to our stage, Dr. Forbes Riley.
Oh, you can't make me cry before I come on camera. That was so sweet.
We love you, Forbes, and we're so blessed and really grateful for you to be joining us today. And the one important thing, like as we said earlier, if it wasn't for you, Nicole and I would have never met.
Thank you.
And you are just like one of the girls, and that's what I love about you. And I love having the girls. So today is the girls' day, and we're going to have you because we want to talk about a lot of different things. And part of Let's Get Real is about showing where we've come from. That we didn't come from having everything. We had to work at it. We had to fall. So part of Let's Get Real is to help educate, to help inspire, and help everybody grow. And that's what you've done for me. I know that for sure. And how about you, Nicole?
Oh, I was just thinking about it the other day, and I've been working with Forbes for about we're going on 2 years of this fabulous relationship, but I don't know that girl that started with Forbes. All I know is I came on, a friend of mine said, have you ever heard of her? You've got to listen to her. And so I jumped on her pitch class secrets, and I knew I couldn't stay for the whole thing because I had to meet a friend out. And literally, it's not the first time this happened, but by the time I knew I had to leave, I was digging for my credit card because I was buying whatever she had to sell. And it was pitch class. It was her pitch secrets. And it has been amazing, Forbes. I don't even recognize that girl that started with you.
I just see a much more beautiful version of her who is more articulate and more excited. And this is the way the two of you guys are talking. It just inspires me to no end, as I'm sure it inspires your audience. So thank you. Thank you for letting me be the sculptor and you guys be the little clay. Because I got to tell you, Michelangelo did some good work over here.
Yeah, Michelangelo certainly did. And we know you didn't start from the top. We know that you've been through, but can you share so our visitors today and people who'll be watching our show afterwards can know about where did Forbes Riley begin? Forbes Riley just didn't appear on TV.
Oh, sure she did. Don't kid yourself. I was born that way. I came out going, hey, Mom, you want to buy a diaper? I got 3 diapers right here. Come on, Mom, what do you want? Apparently I did. It's a very funny thing, and I'm liable to tell you guys things that maybe I've not said on other podcasts. So you guys want to listen up. because my dad was an engineer. He was a mechanic. He was an inventor. He invented crazy things like half a garbage can and a lawnmower engine that turned into a paper mache Batmobile that went 4 miles an hour down the road. Yeah, that was typical of my father. But he also he designed printing presses. And I remember him saying years ago, God, now it's many, many years ago, that you had no idea what your kids were going to become in this world. And he said, but don't work with your hands. He said, don't do what I did. My hands are dirty. The guys over there who wear the white shirts, they're the salesmen. You should go into sales. And I recently uncovered that. My dad's been gone almost 25 years. And he must have said that to me almost 50 years ago. And I just started to reflect on what he meant by that and how it became my life. And you mix that little notion in the back of my head that people in sales were the ones who made the money. He worked too hard. But he was also a magician. And he passed on. And I still love doing magic tricks. In fact, I have one here. I can do a magic trick for you guys if you want.
Yes.
Oh, of course. Are you kidding? Let's go for it.
The crazy thing about magic is you are a bona fide liar. You are paid to be a liar. And if you think about it like that, you're like, you'll never go to a magic show again. Because I'm saying, oh, look over here, and I do something else. But as a kid who's told not to lie and then finds out about Santa Claus and does magic tricks, you're like, I'm not quite sure what to believe here. Does that make sense? So what I personally believe is I believe in magic. I believe in the art of persuasion. And I believe that you should never use this skill for bad, because I have a power. Magicians have a power to lie to you and make you think that, oh, I was standing one day, I helped Chris Angel, the Las Vegas magician. And I was bringing his products onto Home Shopping, like a little magic kit. And this little old woman, and I don't know how old is anymore. Now that I'm my age, old must be like, she was 180. And she said to me, he can read minds. And I'm like, oh, ma'am, you don't really believe, I called her ma'am too. You don't really believe that. She's like, oh, he's just a spirit. And I'm like, no, he's not. I told you the trick. And then if I uncovered that trick, would you also stop believing that everything that the government tells you is right, or everything the doctors tell you is right, or everything that a man tells you is right? But I really wanted to open that doorway to go, look, be careful what you choose to believe as real. And then I took that further going, we place limiting beliefs on ourselves. Sure. And people tell you all the time what they can and cannot do. Well, I can't do that. Well, how do you know? Well, limiting beliefs are meant to be shattered. And then when it comes to things like religion or marriage or sex or raising children, you all have your beliefs about what's right. What if those were wrong? And that's a part of magic has taught me. So excuse me for 1 second. I'll go right over here. I have this beautiful, hopefully I can do this correctly. It's one of the newest things that just arrived in my world. Don't go away.
We're hanging in. We're waiting for you, Forbes.
All right. So,
because it'll be good. Whatever she has, it's going to be.
I have a couple lying around, and you have to go, well, why do you have magic tricks in your world? It's because I just wanted to be told that I was amazing. Whenever my dad would do a magic trick, people go, oh, that's amazing. And I said, well, I want to be told I'm amazing. So I love you both. I love the both, all, you and people out there, but let's the three of us play. Where's the last trip that you went on, Glenda?
The last trip would have been, I guess it was Jamaica.
Oh, nice. Nicole?
Texas.
All right. Have you guys been to Egypt yet?
No,
nope.
not
okay,
yet.
That's on our list. Egypt. Have you been to the Eiffel Tower?
Yes.
Only in Vegas.
Well, it's kind of like the same thing. Great Wall of China?
No, not yet.
You know what's funny about China? In there, they call Chinese food, they just call it food.
Yeah.
I
get it.
And then there's the Taj Mahal. I've not been to India. Can we all go let's all right, here's the thing. Think about where you want to go. Here's what I would like you to do. I have spot 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so I have spot 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you would, let's put these in spot 1, 2, 3, or 4. This one goes where?
I'll put that in 2.
That one in 2. Wait. This one goes where?
Nicole?
I'm going to go with 4.
4. I don't think that little background is helping me any. Okay, here's another one.
1.
And then this one.
No. I guess I take what's left
Oh,
over.
all right. Well, don't make that so obvious. I'm a little not easy to do magic. Here, first of all, I have to turn off my background. I'm like fading in and out. All right. So here's the thing. I made a prediction for us.
Okay, your background's still on. Oh.
Okay, I have a big prediction. Okay, I'm going to take my prediction out. Now, here's the thing. Can you guys see this? Let's see if I hold it in front of my chest. Oh, wait. I'll hold this in front of me.
Yeah.
All right, there's a number. You can see that?
Yep.
All right, you guys have to decide together, 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Where are we going, Nicole?
2.
Okay, we're going to 2.
All right, here's the thing. If 2 matches my big one, we're planning a trip. Are you guys ready at home? You could have picked anyone. So here's what you picked. Want me to show you the big one or the little one first?
Give us the big one.
I
always go for the big one.
I've been to India. I thought going to India would be great with you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be my lover calling me. Guess what I chose? What you chose?
We're going to India. Woo!
This is a terrible thing having to do this long distance. Oh, but that's the point. You guys get it? Yeah, we're going to India.
Yeah.
We're going to India. Why did I do that? Because it's kind of amazing. You could have picked 3, 2, or 1, and it wouldn't have worked. But you picked the one that I wanted. Is that manipulation? Is that fate? Is that magic? And so the question you have to think about in your life in terms of what do you want? What do you want to be doing? How are you going to get it? And I had very clear intentions that we're going to India. It's the one place I haven't been. It's one place I knew we'd be going. So,
and actually, it's one place I would like to go. My daughter's been many a times, and because of her, it's given me that zest of wanting to be there too.
Well, I'm getting my agenda out, so you just give me the date now, and I'll start planning.
Well, you guys know that if Forbes Riley's saying that she's going somewhere, we're definitely going somewhere. I'm not sure how to put on Do Not Disturb, but I'm sure there's somebody. If not, we'll just keep dealing with it. I get lots of phone calls. All right, so I love the title of your show. Can we go back to that, please?
Yeah. So, part of life is, I believe, of being real. Like part of it's just getting down to really the way life is supposed to be. Never mind the bullshit. Never mind all this thing. Let's just talk about the way things are supposed to be in life.
Oh, Glenda, pick a subject. I'm kind of hot on a whole bunch of them right now.
Well, let's talk about let's just talk what we were starting at the beginning. Do women get what men get in life?
Well,
and different avenues when we're talking, we can talk about finances, which is one level. We can talk about romances. It's another. And I have another whole thing about what's going on in my in my life. So yeah, let's just talk
what's going on in your life. What's going on in your life?
Balanced in the degrees of men and women. Do women get more or do men get more?
That's not a fair statement because I also don't know if life is fair. I'm sure somebody found that book. If you find it under your bed called Life is Fair, let me know, because everyone keeps saying life isn't fair as though they expected the opposite. I don't think it was supposed to be fair. I don't really, this is an interesting conversation, and I'm glad I'm at the age that I am. I am a mother of 2, a little boy and a girl who are now 20. I have been married, and now I am second time around, and I'm very, very much in love and planning to be there for the entire rest of my life unless I screw it up. Isn't that funny? Because I don't think he won't. He's precious. I don't want to be a man. I don't want to have the responsibility of men. Men and women have very different roles. I did, by the way, see the funniest thing. And I don't really care what you believe. I lived in Africa for a while. Some guy took a microphone to an African tribe and they said, do you think there's men and women? And they were like, yes. Do you think a man can become a woman? They're like, no. Do you think a woman can become a man? And it was just very fundamental of what they believed. Because in every creature besides humans, we kind of figured it out. It's a little confusing, and there's all kind of anomalies in humans. And you know why? And we know that because there are Siamese twins. I saw a Siamese twin the other day. They are 2 girls, 2 legs, 2 arms, 2 heads.
Where are they attached?
1 body.
Ooh. And
they're living their life, which is fascinating to me. And you can't say that that's good, bad, or indifferent. Is it not? It's not. I don't want to say normal. It's not typical. Mm-hmm. But nature has all kind of funny things that happen. And I don't care if you believe you're something or were born something. It doesn't matter. I certainly want to respect everyone. But I want to come back to the fact that the 3 of us grew up as little girls, were raised as little girls. And I don't want anyone encroaching on that. And I will stand here and say that I'm not phobic against anyone. I've raised a beautiful little black boy from South Central who was murdered, by the way. I've grew up with all kind of diversity in my life. It's not about diversity. It's about respect. And when it used to be the old thing, run like a girl. It was like, oh, I'm just running like a girl. Well, bullshit. That's not what that girl is. And yes, I love shopping and I might be emotional. And the three of us can sit and dish about being a girl all day long because we went through it. But this sense of equality, that you do something and you get paid for it, is really, really important to me. And I'll tell you what, it's harder to get paid for it when you have to wear high heels and a skirt and you have to do your hair, your makeup, your lashes. We have a very challenging thing in our environment. But I'm going to give it up to the women that we don't support each other. Let's start there. What do you think about
Oh, wow, that's huge because I started my career, well, it was actually my second part of my career. I was in the women's wear fashion, and I saw how difficult it was working with other women.
Why?
Because I got backstabbed. I actually, after working very hard and working for a number of years and traveling and working 14, 15-hour days, I remember the last meeting I had with my superior. She wanted to know, what do you envision for yourself, Glenda? And I said, oh, I want to be where you are. And her envision, and then I said, and I presumed, because I was young and naive, that if I wanted to be like her, that she would be higher. And what did I find out? That she thought I was after her job. And before you knew it, it was bye-bye Glenda. And it was, I had other women working under me. I'm not that type. I want to be there for other women too. I love bringing people up, but not all women do believe in bringing others up.
Well, Glenda, how could we? When we're little, we're put in a pageant. We're put in a freaking bathing suit and paraded around like a prize cow. Literally like a prize cow. Which one do you like better? Oh, her lips are cute. Her boobs are high. What man is running around in a bathing suit and we're deciding which one is going to be Mr. Adorable? We put them on a football field. We teach them to be team players. And they're paid millions to do that game where they run into each other that I don't understand anyway, chasing after a pigskin, but that's just me. How can we not backstab each other when that's what we train each other? We're trained ourselves to do.
Okay, but let me go back a second. You just about said a moment ago about women being paraded around. Well, you've got a man who's parading himself around.
Oh, no, that's very different. No. Okay.
Tell me why it's different.
Oh, it's 100% different. My husband is a bodybuilder, and what bodybuilders, men and women, not a sexist event at all,
yes, true,
train over a period of time to build certain muscles to create certain symmetry, and then they're judged against each other on a scale of excellence of what they created. That is an art form, that is a skill, and anybody can enter it, men, women, young and old. Miss America, Miss Universe, Miss Teenage this is not that at all. You are put in a bikini, and you are literally in high heels, strutting your body, and some group of people below are deciding who's the prettiest. Oh, wait, now they let us talk. What's your favorite show? Oh, I believe in world peace.
Okay.
They let us talk and answer a question. Oh my God. When all they care about is how you look in a bikini or a bridal.
And you're being rated on your question, but you're most importantly being rated on how you look. And
it's pretty much all about how you look. Because my daughter was Miss Arizona and she went to Miss America. And after that 1 year of her life being paraded, being looked at, being told to cut her hair, being told what to wear, what not to wear, what to say, what not to say, who to look at, how to look at them, counseling.
You are not taught to be an amazing person. You are taught to be a cow.
Yes.
And pick out the prize cow. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to vote that all beauty pageants should end today.
I agree with you.
I don't, and if you're going to keep them, then they should also be men pageants. I want to parade the men around exactly the women. Because
I wouldn't mind seeing some men pageants personally.
You have? Well, you know what? I don't want any of that.
Not about that. Let's talk about building a pageant where men and women come on and having the personality, having the brains, having
you have that. It's called The Voice. You just go on and you sing. You have America's Got Talent. You can parade whatever your talent is. I think beauty pageants should be eliminated. And then the beauty pageants have been disgusting because now you can have trans whatever be part of the pageant, where now it's even confusing that women, again, you're not having women in a bodybuilding lifting competition if they're a trans woman to man. And I'm going to tell you, if you know what's funny about this, and again, I'm going to piss everyone off now. There was Miss Black America. There was never Miss White America. I don't know what Miss Black America is supposed to judge. I think that should go away. Miss America it's everybody. It's Chinese. It's whatever you're American, you qualify if that's what you want.
Yeah.
But now you're going to have Miss Trans, if that okay too, I guess. But if you're going to have a beauty pageant for women, I already said I let it out of the cat. It's just, I don't know. How do you guys feel?
I just don't think that we need to judge people's beauty. Beauty isn't just your appearance.
Thank you.
Beauty is, like, for me, how do I sign somebody who's beautiful? Somebody who's got their feet down, planted on the ground. Somebody who's loving and considerate and understanding. That's what beauty is.
By the way, you know what's funny? Because I was in that pageant. I was in the Miss Teenage America pageant in 1976. And I just found it on YouTube, by the way. You want to laugh your butts off?
I'm finding it.
My face is over Bob Hope's shoulder the entire time we're on there. And then I say my name. And I didn't do very well because I was a fish out of water. Because I was talking like this. I'm from New York. But here's the thing they did that was right that I've never seen again. There was a talent. There was a written test that you had to take on pop culture. That's how you got to at all. And then everybody wore the same clothes. In the opening number, we all wore the same brown velvet jumpsuit. In the dress part, we all wore the same floral dress. So it was not about that. I'm sure there was a little bit of internal beauty, but you had to take a written test and have a talent before you got to talk. And they were all sizes and shapes in that competition. That was the closest one I've seen to judging a person on who they were in this world. And then that went away and back to bikinis.
So who makes these decisions? It's the media, because there's money obviously there, because nothing else runs. It's all about money.
Are you guys still there?
It's when you're in.
Nicole just froze on us. The problem is there's always money to be found. And then when there's money to be found, and that's why these things go. If nobody was buying the airspace, if nobody was...
Well, no, let's get real here. People are buying sex all the time too. They're buying pornography. You can buy whatever you want.
And that's online very easily now.
We as a society... And that's a different conversation, and it's really important to obviously protect kids. But I don't understand. I forget that I don't understand. I know exactly why. Why is it important? Why isn't prostitution legal?
Well, it is in Amsterdam and like that. It is legal. Why isn't it here?
Why?
I don't understand why if they could do it in Amsterdam, why can't they do it? Same as drugs.
They do it in Nevada. In one of the states of the 50 states we live in, they do it. And I don't understand why. I mean, the argument is simply because we're puritanical. Well, you know what? We're about 300 years past puritanical. And I'm going to say that we should tax it because everybody wants to have sex. Sex is great. I get it. But I think it would cut down on the trafficking if men, for example, you think about men and women and sex. How do you get sex if you're a man with a partner? You have to be attractive. You have to have money. You have to take them out to dinner. You have to wine and dine them. Your breath has to smell good. If you just want to have sex with a woman and you want to put down $20 and she's willing to do it with you, go for it. Don't make it seedy. Regulate it. Tax it. Make it healthy. And stop making it something so taboo, because the younger generation doesn't think sex is as taboo as we do. And so I'm going to say that we need to tax it, set it up, and let people enjoy each other. What do you think?
Well, I think it needs to be, I see nothing wrong with taxing it. But most importantly, it's not just about the taxing situation. It's more of the health situation.
Yes, absolutely.
I think that this way that anybody, whether it is somebody who is in the industry or not, that if they're going to be selling themselves, then they need to be having themselves medically checked so that we don't have any extra spreading of diseases.
And here's the thing. I mean, otherwise...
You have a license too.
Why not? You have a license to cut nails. You have a license to do massage. Why do we want to push this down? And I'm not... it's an interesting conversation. I don't think any of our legislatures are talking about this, but there's a good tax revenue source.
But here's the thing. They're all doing it, but it's all behind glass doors or maybe not so glass, right?
Right. And the fact that, I mean, I just raised money for a sex trafficking organization in South Africa. And we barely, I'm sure, made a dent. But when I talked to the CEO of that company, he said to me, I said, what do you want? He said, I want to put an end to sex trafficking. And I said, then I cannot help you. He said, excuse me? I said, dude, I don't get on sinking ships. You're never going to end sex trafficking or human trafficking as long as there's greed. There will always be human greed. But what you can do, in my impression, is to make a dent. And here's what I want to do. In my early 30s, I got mugged. I was in Los Angeles. I was doing a play about midnight. I was talking to the director, and I was around the corner was a 2-story house neighborhood, very nice neighborhood. But I had taken off my rings and put like cash in my bags. I was going to buy my boyfriend and a present in cash. I was all sitting in my little white purse. Over my shoulder, had my keys in my hands. I'm walking to my car, and a group of teenagers come driving by, and I feel the world go, chick, 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 chick. And then somebody grabs my purse and starts yanking on it. I turn around, there's a rather big, buffy teenager there. Wow. And we start to get into a fight about this because if it didn't matter, I would have but I didn't want to let it go. So I pulled it back, and then I thought, kick him in the groin. And as I said that, he punched me, and I got the wind knocked out of me. I peed all over myself. I freaked out. And then I just started screaming, run, yeah, just because no one was coming to help me. There were 2-story homes. It was night. Everybody was there. Nobody came out. And I'm lucky, Glenda, because he left with his friends. They took my purse. I got in my car. Luckily, I had my keys, and I didn't get anywhere fast as I was stuck in between 2 cars. I went to a self-defense class the next day. Now, here's the thing. Yeah. When I told my friends what had happened, Glenda, they started to reveal to me their rape stories. One of my girls was doing singing telegrams, went to a parking lot after work, and opened her back door to put her costumes in. Some guy pushed her in, took her to a remote area, made her strip, raped the shit out of her, and then left her in a field by herself. Do you know how hard it is to get help when you're naked and bleeding? That was one of like 5 stories. My story didn't compare in terms of the damage done, but I was still scarred for life. Of course. I went to a self-defense class the next day, and man, for 4 years, 2 times a day, I went and punched as hard as I could, anything I could find. I became a brown belt, that close to black belt. And then I went on. I did Aikido, I Wing Chun, Taekwondo. Why don't we teach little boys and girls how to defend themselves? And I'll tell you, I just reached out to a friend of mine. He was a gentleman who's involved in 9/11. He trained some of the guys. It's a long story. But he was playing with my spin gym, which you know is a great fitness product. And he said, I can make this into a weapon for you. I said, oh, no, wait, don't do that. I won't be able to take it on an airplane. He said, baby, I can kill somebody with a banana. I said, I want you to teach me to kill somebody with a banana. Because if you're a kid and you knew how to do that and you practiced it, maybe we could make a dent on people hurting each other.
Well, you know, I think that there's a lot of things that need to be taught in the schools, because I think the school system have failed our children on so many different levels of just relationships.
Whoa, no, wait, Glenda. I had a massive revelation the other day. What you just said is the basis for all my teaching. I teach, stop telling people what they need and give them what they want. Do you know why our school system is never going to change? It's exactly the way it is. And you will not make a dent, and neither will I. They don't want you to have better relationships. They don't want you to be an entrepreneur. They don't want you to be a free thinker. They don't want to feed you nutrition. They don't want to teach you money. They don't. They're doing exactly what they want to do. They want to train drones who graduate, who don't think for themselves, who have a very poor level of health, and they're doing exactly it. So for you to say they need to do that, they're never going to do that. They don't want to.
It's very sad.
No, it's just the way it is. It's not sad.
But we can make a difference in some things as parents.
Yes and no. Do you know they're now taking parents to court? I don't know that you can. You have to really look at the bigger agenda. You can make a difference in your own personal children.
Yes.
As long as homeschool is legal, I think everybody should. I don't know that I could have, but I'll tell you what.
Well, that's a very hard thing. My hat goes off to anybody who can homeschool, but there's just a lot of, especially in our day, look at prices are going crazy. People are working more and more. How do you homeschool your children on top of it all? And
the answer is, you're right. That's a really hard thing to do. I'm just going to say, I could never have homeschooled my children. I really appreciated the time away from them so I could work and build my life. But the reason that I'm in business with my daughter and have the most amazing son is because of COVID. is because the last 2 years of their education, mid junior, all senior year, they were in my house. If they weren't, I would have never seen my kids again. My daughter was on the way out. She wanted to surf around the world. She was doing whatever she was doing with her friends and didn't care about me at all. All of a sudden, we're locked in the house, and we had a time to discover each other and like each other and build something together. And so I'm grateful that she was home during senior year. She's not going to college, which if my parents were alive today, they'd be rolling over and going, well, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
Forbes, we fought to get you in school. We worked our whole lives with you to pay off that college debt tuition. She's not going. And I would say, Mom, Dad, you're going to take that amazing money that you wasted on college tuition, compounding, interest, build her a business, create a life for her. And her brother, ironically, is going to college because his dad won't let him not. Great college, great traditional environment. I get it. But my daughter's already made over $1 million, and she was 18 years old when she did it. Yeah. We had college educated people come to us who didn't know half of what she knew. So college is also an institution that wants your money, that gives you a degree that you can't even wipe your ass with. I have a piece of paper, it's worthless.
To some degree. I have a son who is a lawyer and his college education, and he now is a partner. So in that degree, yes, it is important.
Yes, well, I hope my doctors go to college too. Don't get me wrong. I want my doctors and my lawyers to go to college. I want my accountant. You guys go to college.
BA, it's a waste of time and money because it's not going to do. People need to learn trades. Things that they can help build them.
What did you go to college for?
I was a paralegal.
Oh, yeah, there you go. That was useful. I was a poli-sci major with a minor in history. I don't even want to vote. That's all that was good for. And so, Nicole, what did you go to college for?
I dropped out. Got a real estate license and made money.
Congratulations.
I didn't want to learn about things I didn't want to read. So I thought, but I want to make money. What do I do? Real estate license at 24 and, been doing it ever since.
Congratulations. They don't teach that in schools either. One of my best days in school, and I will never forget it, and I'm going to keep making it bigger than it really was. But they called me in and they were like, your daughter's being disruptive in tech class. So I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Yes, we're teaching them how to write resumes, and your daughter doesn't want to write one. She's saying she doesn't have to get a job. And I'm like, but she doesn't. She said, we need to call you in. And so I go in, and there's the guidance counselor sitting there. McKenna's like going, Mom, please don't embarrass me. I'm like, sorry, wrong mom. And I said, look, what do you want her to do? Well, we're all writing job resumes. I'm like, she doesn't need a job. No, of course she does. I said, why does she need a job? Wow, what do you think she's going to do after school? Everyone needs a job. I said, excuse me, ma'am. How much money do you make at your job? Oh, wait, don't tell me. Let me guess, because I looked it up online. You make $52,000 a year. Do you know that the 14-year-old that you're talking to right now made $52,000 last month in digital marketing? She doesn't want a pay cut, and I want to be anything like you. You might want to find out what she's doing. And I left.
I love it. Yeah.
I don't know if it really went down that way, but it sounds good when I tell it.
Here's the thing. She's also doing what she's happy doing. She's living her life is with passion now. And how do I know? Because I see her. She's sparkling. She's growing. She has so many people that she's inspiring at this young of an age. What an incredible talent she is. So she's living the life that she wants.
You know what? She had access to someone as disruptive as me. And that's not every mom. I don't know where I got all this energy, this education, discovering this purpose, and I love meeting you, by the way, because you're definitely a sister from another mother. This is very different from the conversation you and I had a couple of years ago on your very first podcast, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't need to do another podcast where people go, so tell me about you. You know what? Go to YouTube. You want to tell me about you. Let's talk about subjects that matter. Let's be present. Let's stop first of all, the insanity of what's going on. I couldn't get into Canada to do the lead in the TV series. I'm so pissed at Canada.
Why? What happened?
They wouldn't let me in. During COVID, nobody could get in. Nobody could get out. Okay. Well, that was an interesting time and just frustrating. So I'm tired of people saying things that aren't real. Is there a course in common sense that we could take? Because I'd like to sign up for that course.
COVID wasn't real either. And it,
Oh, you're going to get canceled. Woo, baby, woo.
Yeah.
Well, COVID was real. Something was real enough to kill one of my friends. It's not like I take this lightly.
No, but people die of the flu.
I know.
People die of heart attacks, and part of what it was is, people that also, I'm a big believer that when you look after your body, that when something comes into your body, and if you keep yourself healthy and strong, you can fight off a lot of things.
That is 100% true, but you can't make money off selling that. Nobody makes money off of selling fruits and vegetables. So, my fear is that those of us who speak up are going to get silenced. Do you know, there's a woman running around right now, and I just want to protect her and hug her. She's a refugee from North Korea. North Korea. She's beautiful, absolutely stunningly beautiful. And I don't know if you've heard her, and I have to find her name. But she talks about how the fact that she and her mother were both sold. Her mother was already used, so she was raped and sold for $60, and she was sold for a couple of $100 to escape into China so that she could talk about North Korea, where they don't have internet, where you're not allowed to wear jeans, where there is no fast food, where you have no opinions, where they took words out of the dictionary like depressed or frustrated, or because they're not allowed to do that. You're allowed to only be happy. You're allowed to believe the guy who runs that country is God, and it goes on and on and on. And I'm praying for her life that nobody takes it. Because they don't want that to be known. There's a country on this planet right now that is the exact opposite, like some weird Star Trek episode of the freedom that we have here. And what we're not noticing is that we're losing our freedom every day. When you get pat down at the airport, and it literally patted everywhere. I don't know why on my screen when I go through, there's always a little yellow square on my crotch. I don't know what comes up there, but I've been patted one too many times. They never find anything. And I'm like, do I get like a thank you or dinner or something? And I'm like, what gives you? And I understand that we're doing it to protect ourselves, but we say things in the name of protecting ourselves. Well, I have the right to throw away this yogurt you just bought, even though it's sealed, or this water that you're now going to have to buy on the other side for $12.
Yeah.
What are we doing to ourselves?
Well, the problem is it's the little guy or your voice and my voice that doesn't really matter.
No. Doesn't.
It's the people at the top of the totem pole that keep on telling us how we should be living, what we should be doing, and that's the sad part of it all. It's not allowing people to live for who they and what they believe.
I couldn't be a teenager right now. I couldn't have the whole rest of my life ahead of me and I'm sad. I really am. And I'm going to tell you, from my experience, just watch movies. Watch Terminator again. Terminator is about wishing you could go back and fix it right before you knew it was going to go really wrong. We're living in that right now. That's what AI is. That's what robots are. And we're building exactly what we saw in the movies. And it's as Elon Musk said, like the train's left the station. So just watch what happens. But if you really want to see how wonderful life will be, watch Real Player One, I, Robot, Matrix. It never ends well for the humans.
Well, it doesn't look like it's going to be ending well for the humans now. And I said this last night. I was at my friend's and we were talking about it. And you know what? My daughter this summer is going to be getting married. And I'm grateful and I'm happy. And I'm happy because she's happy. What else does a mother want for her kids? And I saw how much both of my kids in their 30s, have just exploded in fabulous ways. But I worry for the fact of what will their lives and what happens when she is hoping to have children in the next little while. What a sad situation and here would be a grandchild for me and I would be thrilled to death for that. But here's the thing, where are we going? What happens when AI takes over everything? How are people going to be making a living or making money? If the AI is going to be taking over, we were just talking about this with a class that I take with Arfa, who's a writer. And she says, well, AI for the general people can write out anything they want. But for real flair, you need somebody who has that magic to be able to write in those wings. But AI is doing pictures and graphics, and you don't know what is real and what isn't real anymore. Where are we going?
Well, the only thing I have to say to that is that there was a time in the 1940s where people were being thrown into ovens and there was a shortage of everything. And there was a thing called a World War I and a World War II. And I imagine that they all thought at that moment that everything was going to die and end. So I don't know the answer. I do know that evolution seems to be taking care of it. It won't look like we knew it. Our lives are not like what they were 50 years ago.
Sure.
So I don't know. Nicole, are you okay? I know you keep popping out. Are you on a, where are you, by the way?
You know what? I've never had this happen, and I keep losing my internet. My computer screen goes completely black. I have to go back in, turn it on, and I did have some people working on my trees today, so I don't know what happened. It's ridiculous.
Well, and it's also bad because your mouth doesn't match. And you know what? I'm just gonna have to come back and do the show part 2.
All right, cool. We're good with that.
I'm just nervous that everyone's going to listen to this conversation because it's a pretty out there conversation we just had. But again, at some point, our voices only matter how much they matter. So should we talk about something a little more productive in the few minutes we have left?
Well, how can we help others to live a life where they can be, happier within themselves? And here's the big thing. We're in a world right now where the biggest upheaval is loneliness.
Yeah, that's a great way to start. That's one big upheaval. The other thing is your mind, your brain.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing. If we start, this is why AI is going to take over, because it doesn't sleep, eat, or have all these emotional issues that we do as humans. We are so busy telling ourselves and other people how bad we are. The other day, I had a massive breakthrough with one of my clients, and she is in her late 50s. And I'm like, what's going on? She's like, I can't be seen. I don't think my life matters. We figured out where that came from. 2nd grade. She's 7 years old, and a teacher made her stand up, embarrassed her to no end. And I'm like, you're holding on to that. She has no kids. She never got married. That little piece of information, that little code corrupted the hard drive of her brain so much that she never learned to function and enjoy the life she was given. And so I'm going to share with you guys, the biggest thing that you can think of right now is how you speak to yourself. What are the words that you use? When you wake up in the morning, do you look and go, man, I am amazing. Get naked and go, look at that body. Look at that body. I don't care if it's got stretch marks or lumps or bumps. It works. Because if you don't want it, somebody in a wheelchair will be happy with your cottage cheesy thighs. So start being a little bit more grateful would be nice. And go, I don't know what perfect is, so I must be good enough. That's it. That's all there is. You want to be thinner, get thinner. You want to be fatter, get fat. It doesn't matter. Make a choice and go, I'm damn happy. I am enough just the way I am. Then if you cannot do it on your own, and I just spent this last week in Utah, nobody can do it on their own. Nobody. I'm sorry. I saw breakthroughs all over the place. The biggest problem with being human is that we retain things that don't serve us. If you retained every piece of useless information on your laptop, you'd have to throw it out because the hard drive would crash. It would be overloaded. You have to go to ever throw out a file, delete. We don't delete shit. Yeah. Start deleting something that's not serving you and watch what happens when you wake up and go, wow, I don't really care what my mother thought about. Who cares? She's not here. She's gone. My dad's gone. I have a sister who doesn't want to talk to me. Okay. I love her. Go away. I have people who hurt me. I love you. Go away. Go away. So until we can understand how to process what's happened to us in a more effective fashion, we will, as people, can never be happy.
Because we always seem to want more. And when we can sit back sometimes and just look and listen, I've been at the very top and I've also been at the very bottom. And you know what? For me, what is happiness for me? For me, it's really simple. It's being healthy. When I'm healthy, then I've got all I need. I don't need more shit to buy in the stores. I don't need more clothes. I don't wear the clothes that I already got.
I love when Jane Fonda at the Academy Award, a huge no-no is you're never allowed to wear the same dress. She walked out a couple of years ago in the same dress she'd worn 5 years before and said at 82, I'm never buying any more clothes. And I thought, what a great statement. You're right. I don't need more clothes. And maybe
I don't need more of anything. I just need, I need to be able to touch other people's lives is what I need.
I love that.
Because that gives me a heart, a full heart. That's what I need in my life.
And then let's start with, I'm actually kind of simulcasting this on Instagram. Somebody said the pandemic is real. I get that. My best friend died of COVID. Don't kid yourself. We're not making light of that.
No, but I'm saying that if you don't look after your body, when other things hit you, it will affect you more. If you're in a healthier, stronger position, when you get the flu, you can push away. It's not going to knock you down as if somebody who hasn't looked after themselves, and then it can actually kill you.
Well, here's the thing. You're more likely to survive. Joshua was in a horrendous motorcycle accident. They said if he wasn't so fit, he might have died. I get that. So what's the moral of this story? What are you eating every day? What are you drinking every day? How much are you moving? And what are you thinking? And until you get all of those together, and Glenda, I know that that's passionate for you, but it's not for everybody. Here's the other thing. Most people don't know they're not healthy. I have a crazy diet program that my little eat program.
Yeah.
I have people write down what they eat. Oh, yeah, I eat healthy. I'm sorry. Cereal with milk and extra sugar, bologna on white bread, a canned snack of some sort that's sugar laden, and then you go out to dinner and pour a cup of salad dressing that's got more sugar than the dessert you're going to eat. You have no idea what's healthy. You don't. If you've never fasted at all, you don't really realize I'm starving to death. No, you're not. You're hungry. And if you're addicted to sugar and oil and fat, you're screwed.
And you know what? It's funny because I have developed intolerances. They're not allergies. They're mostly, Nicole's just said she can't get back on. So
we'll do part 2.
So this thing is yes, it was through the years of all of the things or whatever, and my body decided at points, I don't do sugars. I can't. My body reacts. I can't do chocolate. And you know what? People say all the time, well, how do you live without it? And it's like, quite easily. You don't eat what doesn't make you feel good.
Oh, my
God. Easy.
I hung out with Jack LaLanne for 8 years of his life. They're going to do a movie about Jack starring Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, that means Jack's going to be back on the map. Jack said some things way ahead of his time. People made fun of him too. If man made it, don't eat it. If it tastes good, spit it out. Yeah, I got all that. You know what? Jack never had sugar after the age of 15. He died at 96.
Nice.
Barely ate anything that wasn't good for him. I have a photo of Jack at 95. We're sitting at 95, spunkiest guy I've ever seen. We're sitting around a table and he says, I think I'd like to order a pizza. I took a picture of him. I said, you're 95, do what you want. And so he comes to the waiter and says, I want a whole wheat pizza, no cheese, just, whatever you make. Okay, the pizza comes. I have a picture of Jack holding his pizza, which is hysterical. And the pizza comes. It's got no cheese on it. And he's like, how do I eat this thing? I'm like, you're kidding me. What do you mean? How do you really? You've never really eaten a pizza before, have you? And it was the worst tasting pizza I've ever had. And his conclusion was, pizza tastes terrible. I don't want it again. Most people don't have that. Their thing is pizza's cheap and I'm going to eat it. It tastes good. So people would say to him, well, don't you, want a cake on your birthday? He's like, don't you want to go out and eat dirt off the ground? No, I don't. Don't tell me what I need to be doing. And I love the legacy that I got to touch that. I love, Glenda, that you understand that. The question for you watching this, though, is have you learned anything at all in the last hour? Have we touched you, inspired you? By the way, guys, I'm not right about anything. This is my opinion. And I think that's the thing that we forgot in this country. And I don't know how it is in Canada, but the First Amendment when we got here is that you have a right to say what you want. Now, you can't yell fire in a movie theater. A couple things you can't say. But when I was growing up, you could say that I didn't like this or I disagree with that. And people would go, okay. And then you'd have this thing called a debate. Now you say something someone doesn't like, they go, boom, you're canceled. You're out of here. You don't matter. Since when doesn't my opinion evoke a conversation? I'm happy to talk to somebody who's completely on the other side of me so we can have this conversation. But I never think that I'm right. It just works for me. So all of a sudden that everybody is, I'm the only one who's right and you're canceled. What is that?
No, it's wrong. And it's, you know what, we can always agree to disagree. It's nothing wrong with hearing other people's opinions if you respect them as they're talking. But if it's working for you, that's fine. I will have my own beliefs. Why do I have my own beliefs about looking after myself, about caring for myself? I lost my father 30 years ago at a young age of 62. Well, I have just passed. Well, I'm more than past. I just turned 64. And woohoo, and I'm still going. And even despite a very bad fall last year, which they felt that I was going to need an operation to fix. And that wasn't true because I decided in my own head that I was going to come through this and I will keep on going.
Yeah. Do you know that in North Korea, they don't use anesthesia for surgery?
Wow.
They use the same needle. They have like one needle for a whole floor of patients. When she says all these things, part of me is going, we have no idea how lucky we are. There's nothing like going to get a surgery and be knocked out and wake up and it's done.
Yeah.
We take some weird things for granted. We take healthcare. We take teeth care. I have all my teeth at 63. They're my teeth.
Me too.
We take this for granted. By the way, happy belated birthday.
Thank you, sweet.
I hope you celebrated.
Oh, and I'm still celebrating.
Why not? I'm going to celebrate until I'm 101.
You know what? I have a thing I tell all my friends and my kids and everything. And, if they can't celebrate on the day, like every day is worth celebrating. So whenever you want to celebrate, I'm here.
Well, that's funny because I used to say to my kids, I didn't tell them till later, but when my kids were little, I would normally work on their birthday. December was always a busy month for me. And so the first couple of years, I just celebrated their birthday in June. No one ever knew. My mother-in-law hated it. She was so mad at me. I'm like, stop making up rules for me. That's the only thing I've ever done. And I will tell you guys, I just lost my picture too. The greatest thing that I did in my life was forge my own path. I did it when I was younger because I had no choice. I was ugly. I was awkward. Nobody wanted to be my friend. I talk funny. I had a weird mouth. I talk like this. I had a broken nose and frizzy hair, and nobody cared. And I just kept dreaming when I was little, dreaming of the movies and the TV things. And I wanted to be James Bond and Audrey Hepburn and Jane Fonda. And I just looked at different places and it was what I wanted. And then I went out and set out in the course of my life to write this amazing life story. The other movie, you remember Hans Christian Andersen?
Of course. Well,
do you remember when?
Age?
Well, but the movie, who's the guy who, is it Danny Kaye? I think it was Danny Kaye.
Yes, I think it was Danny Kaye.
Beautifully talented. I loved old musicals. I could just live in a room and watch Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly, and that's all I needed to do. And I was very, very happy back then. In that mythical world of all the musicals, of Brigadoon of Oklahoma, the guy always kissed the girl, lived happily ever after. That's what I knew. I wanted to live happily ever after. That was what I wanted. And then Hans Christian Andersen was a storyteller. And I remember we had to do a one-man or one-woman show in high school for a senior project, and I chose Hans Christian Andersen. And I've lived out that legacy, that foresight for the whole rest of my life. How do you take something and turn it into delicious stories? How do you make the ugly duckling a story or the Emperor's New Clothes a story that matters? You go, you travel, you see other people, you be polite, you learn other cultures, and you enjoy, because as someone before me said, we may only live once, but if we live right, once is enough.
Oh, I love that. Just totally love that. And that's a spectacular way for us to end our show today, with learning how to live the proper way of being able to live once, the right way. And how is the right way? Everybody's got their own way. But it's the right way for me is not to feel lonely, to be happy, to just be out there so that you can hit somebody else's life and actually make them feel good. To me, that's what it's really all about.
Well, I'll just end. I'm sad that Nicole was not here. She and you, I love seeing you guys both as students of mine, as friend of mine, as people who came down to Forbes Factor in the middle of all the craziness and celebrated life. You're an amazing woman. You are a beautiful sister to two brothers who I think really got the best that there is. Yeah. You're a great friend. You're a great mom. And I wish that for you, that the partner that you dream about, the one who gets to hold you at night and tell you that you're beautiful and loved, emerges from the dark, because somebody out there wonderful is looking for you.
Oh, I just got shivers. And I love it. Thank you. And I know you found your sweetheart, and you showed me that dreams can come true.
That's why we're together. It's not that, again, it's not to impress you, but to impress upon all of us that I asked for a miracle and it showed up. And I'm having a crazy time believing that that's true. And then, of course, as expected, I'm going to give some love to Carolyn out there who just keeps commenting, and one of our sisters.
Yes.
So it's just, I didn't get to do the sorority thing. I didn't get to do the high school. I didn't do any of that stuff. I am as an adult, because I do believe if you peaked in high school, you peaked too soon.
I was not the high school queen, beyond, not that at all. And so that's why, for me, this is when my life is sparkling, and I'm grateful for it. And I'm grateful for the people that I've been able to attract into my life. And I told you, I Forbes you. So
I love it. I love it. I love it.
So I thank you so much. I hope that you can join us again when we can get our other soul sister here on, and she's not popping in and out. But I thank you for giving us your time today, my dear.
I love you.
You are a very special woman, and you're very much in my heart. And I thank you for everything you have done for me.
We need a retreat, my girl. Let's go figure out where we're going to go on holiday.
All right. Yeah, I got it.
You guys. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Thank you very much. And for everybody who's watching, I hope that you've gotten something out of today, because you know what? Today really was about getting real. Thank you very much for joining us today. And it was a spectacular time, like I said, with my dear friend Forbes. And for everybody else, create the life you want. Why? Start dreaming it, because you deserve it. Thank you.